Mackenzie.
Lamar.
Angelic voices for
I
Angels
was
in the
gonna
Outfield
say.
today.
What an energy.
This movie I had not seen in decades, and I have prepared a 20 slide PowerPoint on why this is a paradox of a plot line. Angels are cheating in baseball games based off of a wing and a prayer from this kid. There's a lot that we're going to dissect here today, but I'm curious, when you were watching this as a kid, or modern day, I guess, I know we're both kind of miserable old folks at this point, oldish folks, but when you were watching this as a kid, did you believe in angels? Do you believe in angels? Did you buy into the premise?
I honestly don't really know if I believed in angels at this point when I was watching it. I think they also like not to go off too far, but I think they kind of like make it so gimmicky that it's
Oh
hard
yeah.
to associate this with actual angels. But I think that I did when I was younger. My mom tells me a story that I won't go too far in the weeds on, but about how when I was a kid, I would say these really weird things, which I think is a kid thing, right? But I would say these like weird, like almost spiritual or like things that I shouldn't know kind of things, like kind of ghosty, angel-y, spiritual things. And I said some things like at a family funeral once or twice that like made them believe that not only did I believe in angels, but like I had seen a couple, I had talked to a few,
You had the
like
gift.
we had a direct line of communication. Apparently they haven't talked to me in a while, I can tell you that. So I don't know, but I think at the time I definitely thought I was talking to some angels.
Did you
Yeah.
ever stand up at a funeral and like wave your arms to symbolize that you were
To like
seeing
be like, they're
angels?
here, they're
Yeah.
here. No, I don't think. Well, I'll have to ask. I don't think I did, but that would have been the sign, wouldn't it?
Yeah. For me, it was like when I was watching this, I would have been 10-ish. And yeah, back then I was pretty rich. So I think I bought into it. But I also was like
Yeah.
going to church and you're not allowed to just summon the Lord anytime your life has an inconvenience. He doesn't like to be tested,
Yeah.
you know? It's so I was actually a little shocked that this kid got what he wanted in this movie for the most part. But my follow-up question here is, and I want to point this out actually before I get to that, right off the bat, even as an atheist at 40 watching this movie, it's still really enjoyable. We're going to get that out of the way right now. I still had a blast watching this. It's not perfect, it's goofy, but I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
But
I think it's fun.
my second follow-up question is this. In the universe of, or in the world building of Angels in the Outfield, are we to believe that Satan also exists here? If there's a God,
Oof.
must there be a Satan?
Oof. Oof. I thought we weren't gonna go deep, you know what I mean? Like
I'm
I
sorry.
I think it's gotta be. Listen, there's a hierarchy to the angels. I mean, Lucifer was an angel. I'm just
Okay.
saying. If we
So
want to
the
get right
reason
down
I
to it.
ask is I feel like there is untapped potential for a sequel to this, another sequel to this,
Oh
where
god. I was gonna
a
say there's so
child
many, aren't there?
begs Satan to help the Florida Marlins win the World Series and to kill his stepdad. I'm just saying, I think that is there for the
Okay.
picking.
Y'all, it got dark really quick. It got really quick. How did we leave it to us to
It's going to be all
corrupt
bright from
a
here on out. It's going to be a very
Disney?
happy day.
I love it. I love it. Welcome back to We Drink and We Watch Things. I'm Mackenzie,
I'm Lamar.
and we are wrapping up Let's Play Ball Month here on the pod with you guys' pick. So there was a voting situation that happened. I learned that you're all a little racist. It was a
They
whole
hate
thing.
Chadwick Boseman.
They
They
hate
hate
Chadwick
Boseman.
Boseman.
May he rest in
Like,
peace. Like, that's fucked up, guys.
jeez. Yeah, Jackie Robinson, Chadwick Boseman, rejected, deeply rejected by this audience. I'm disappointed, but that's okay. We still got to have a good time. Angels in the Outfield is what we're covering today. So I think it'll be fun.
I mean, our main adult
How?
lead is Danny Glover, so I think we're doing okay on representation in this.
Right.
Yeah, just saying. It's not
You're
quite
you're not
42, but
you guys aren't totally racist. You're like lightly racist. Okay. So what are we drinking to power through this one?
so we are drinking from at Craft World as always. This is God's Thumbnail Margarita, 2 ounces of silver tequila, 0.75 ounces of lime, 0.25 ounces of blue curacao, 0.5 of ginger liqueur, 0.5 of simple, and 0.5 of orange juice. Shake and strain. Salt optional, but this is God's Thumbnail.
I wonder if ours came out the same. Ready?
Let's see. I might have put a little too. I think I put a little too
Okay.
much curacao in there because mine's like a
I maybe a little, but it's very blue, man. You
seafoam.
put like a dab of that shit and it's super
Mm-hmm.
blue, you know?
It's tasty.
Mine's very frosty. I went heavy on the ice. That is tasty. Okay, cool. Cool. Delish. All right, thank you. So, as per usual, we're going to do some basics. We're going to give you a spoiler warning, and then we're going to get into it. I am also noticing that you still didn't wear a hat. I mean,
Wait.
like, I don't know how many times I have to.
That's like the best I can do. I like looked around and there's not a lot of hats in this one.
Oh man. Wow. The fact that you just like had it ready though, like you just grabbed a bicycle helmet, you guys, for those of you not watching the video, a bicycle helmet just on his head. That doesn't count as a hat, by the way, but A for effort. I'll give you that. I am repping our minor league team in the hood. So Round Rock Express, if you didn't know, is Austin's Round Rocks, whatever, minor league team. And they do a fun thing a couple times a year where they like do a dress up, like a Halloween kind of thing. And
Cool.
and it's not just them, it's also other minor league teams where you have an alternate mascot. And theirs is the chupacabras. So
Nice.
that's my hat today.
There's this whole new culture around minor league baseball. Like it never used to be much of a thing. It was just you would go to games if you couldn't go to an MLB game. But the you've heard of the banana slugs? No, there is this. It's this huge, like they have this monster following. All their games are
Really?
sold out. It's almost like the Harlem
I
Globetrotters
don't know
of
how I
baseball. Like
haven't
they do
heard
all
of
these
that.
joke bits and stuff in their games. But even outside
Oh.
of that, I know Janelle loves to watch John Oliver on HBO, and he's like endorsing a minor league MLB. He just sees all this untapped potential of like you can be as creative as you want when you're in the minor leagues. Like your job is to draw. You don't have superstar players, so just have fun theme nights like you're talking about. Do costumes, do gimmicks. Yeah.
Yeah, they do. They do all kinds of like fun. Like I will say, I love going to a baseball game, period. But I love going to a Round Rock Express game. They're super fun and it's a very specific vibe. Like it's a minor league vibe, but it feels like a family night, feels like a fun night. It's silly. I think the energy is always really good. And it's a smaller stadium too. So like, I don't know, it feels like easier to get in and out of, get around. It doesn't feel like as
Yeah.
much of a thing to go to a Round Rock Express game.
Yeah.
So
You
yeah,
know,
and they always make it fun.
I'm a hockey guy, but we have the
Yeah.
Texas Stars, who are the Dallas Stars minor league
Yep.
team here up in Cedar Park, and same
Yeah.
vibe. It's just so much easier getting in and out. The tickets are cheaper. You're still getting a world class experience, and they do fun team nights as well. So shout out to the
Yeah.
Texas Stars too.
Yeah. Go watch a minor league game of some kind. Moral of the story. All right, kids, let's get into it. Angels in the Outfield, 1994, 6.2 out of 10 on IMDb. Lower than I thought, actually. Lower than I expected.
If I had seen this for the first time as an adult, I would probably
as
roll
an
my
adult,
eyes,
sure.
especially as an
Yep.
atheist. I would probably roll my fucking eyes at it. But because I have that nostalgia factor involved, I'm probably going to go a little higher today. Also, this is Mackenzie. This is a remake. Can you explain this to me?
Yeah, it's a remake, 1951. Yeah.
Have
was
you
the
seen
OG.
the original?
Yeah, but like I was really young when
Okay.
I saw that. I don't know how that compares, to be totally honest. But
I
yeah,
read there
it
weren't
was
a ton
OG'd
of
in 51.
like similarities. I think it's like the coach in that one who requests God's assistance to help his team win. Like, just saying the plot of these films out loud is great. But yeah,
I mean, it's Disney. You know what I mean? Like shit gets weird on Disney, and they try to make it wholesome.
yeah.
And they do an okay job, I think,
forgot
on the
it.
whole.
I forgot it was an actual official Disney film, and I think that's part of the reason
Yeah.
why this is actually pretty good, because the script is pretty tight. Some goofy slapstick stuff aside,
For sure.
the one-liners are pretty damn funny still to this day. So
I think that's indicative of the OG screenplay, which we will get
Okay,
there.
Okay.
Yeah, so 31% from critics, real quick, and then 50% from audiences. Critics like are a little harsh, guys. This is a kids movie, like Calmate, but
Mhm.
apparently they wanted to be rude about it. And then the director, William Deere, did, and I now want to go back and watch this because I remember loving this, but
know where you're
did
going.
The Rocketeer. Do
Yep,
you
I fucking love The Rocketeer.
love that movie.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh my God. Okay. We should probably do that. Maybe we should have a nostalgia month because
Yeah.
that is one that I remember thinking like was incredible. And it's the same director. I wonder how it holds up for sure.
I think it'd be good. He also did Harry and the Hendersons, another childhood favorite of mine. Bigfoot is real in that one. So
I didn't
yeah.
see that one.
And he was also one of the very first modern day music video directors. I thought that was interesting. So in the 70s, you had the Beatles and whatnot, they would release live footage of them performing like the songs. Those were quote unquote music videos. But when you added, I think Queen's Bohemian Rhapsody is considered the first one where it's like there's almost like a narrative to the video. It's used as part of the marketing for the album. This dude was doing that. He did one of the first ones after that in 1977, which was Rio. So I just thought that was cool that he went from OG music video director to making films.
I love it. Yeah. Some variety.
A Spike Jonze trajectory, if you will,
Yes, there you go. We love that. Man, Spike's been getting some coverage in our eps the last couple weeks. All right, writers, really quick. So this is what I'm going to talk about. The writing for this involved 37 people over several decades. So it was...
We're going to list all of them for you now.
We're going to list all of them. This was Dorothy Kingsley, and she did the 1951 screenplay. So there's a few who did the 1951 work, and that she's one of them. And she did Seven Brides for Seven Brothers, which is super famous OG film. If you haven't seen it, you should check it out. And the writing of that is like notably very good. So that's, again, 50s screenwriters, usually pretty rock solid. George Wells as well contributed to the screenplay. He did Take Me Out to the Ball Game. So this guy apparently has a type, is what we have learned. And then Richard Conlon did the 1951 story, which means he was like in the room when they were talking about it, as far as I'm concerned. His other film...
So there's a baseball game, and then there's angels.
There's angels.
I leave you with this. I'm going on break.
Write it. His other movie literally is Angels in the Infield. So this guy has had one idea in his whole life, is what I have learned. One idea. Angels in the outfield and in the infield. That's it. And then finally, Holly Goldberg Sloan came in on this iteration of the screenplay, and she's done like The Big Green, for example.
That was like the soccer one that was a year or two after that. I don't think I ever saw that, but I know it had a lot of this, like the kid cast members of that era of 90s films. Yeah.
And she did another kids movie that I can't remember, something. It's not like Girls Will Be Girls, but it's something like that. And so like she did another one of those. So like similar thing, like kids movies kind of thing. So I attribute the tightness of the script, accurate or not, I attribute that largely to that like 1950s screenplay team, like again, just in that era, the writing of scripts in particular was so much more important to the film just because there were not as many effects. Like you couldn't make it super outlandish. You couldn't distract with the flash and the bangs as much. So the writing is usually so much better. So I think that like first iteration is just something that Holly kind of tweaked a little bit to modernize it here and there. All right. Major cast and crew. Another big cast and crew here, like a surprising amount of people in this movie.
I had forgotten that everyone in this, there are 4 Oscar winners in this. It is insane, the cast for this picture.
It is wild. And some of them like are known at this point, but most are not. Like it's it's really fascinating. So we'll go through it. Let me know if I miss any. Danny Glover, like we said, plays George Knox, the manager of the team of Lethal Weapon fame, I think, obviously. And it's like this is his most wholesome. Like he's really angry and all the things at the beginning, but really I think this is his most wholesome version of himself.
Him playing really surly at the beginning is a treat, and then transitioning into the more lovable character by the end. Yeah, it's like I wouldn't call it a breakout role for him, but he's going from doing all these action films to then deciding to make a children's movie, and I think he nails it.
Yeah, he does a really good job. Brenda Fricker, who plays Maggie Nielsen, the foster mom, who can be only referenced as the bird lady from Home Alone. I need you guys to understand that that's the same person. And that kind of blew my mind. I was like, oh my God, she's so much more like together and normal in this one. I forgot about her.
Yeah, I think she was also in So I Married an Axe Murderer. I haven't seen that in, again, 30 years or something like that. And I think she won an Oscar for My Left Foot. I didn't know if that was in your wheelhouse or not, because I've never seen that one.
I've seen it, but it's been a long time, and I didn't know
like
she won
70s or 80s. Like that is an older one, but yeah.
I mean, that's Daniel Day-Lewis fame So
Ah.
that's actually 89,
Oh, so that's
88,
not long
something like
before
that.
this. Okay.
It's not that long before, but I don't, again, I haven't seen it in a while, so I don't remember what her role is. And I certainly didn't remember that she won an Oscar for it. So that's cool. So she's not just the bird lady from Home Alone, is what we have learned. Sorry, my
We
bad.
can still call her that. It'll be fine. Just Bird Lady.
Bird lady. That's what she wants her career summarized as, I'm sure. Tony Danza has to make an appearance, obviously. Mel Clark. He is most well known, let's be honest, for Who's the Boss. But I thought it would be fun to point out that he also did Don John, which features coming up soon Joseph
Joe Loves.
Gordon-Levitt.
Yeah.
Yeah, in a wildly different role than not only this movie, but other things that he has done as well. So if you haven't seen Don John, like, check it out. It's
Ironic
very
that he
different.
plays his dad in that, since Jogo Lev spends this whole movie looking for a dad.
Oh,
It
that's
all came
true.
together, yeah.
It all came. They all brought it together. I'm sure he just was like, I want Tony Danza to be my dad. Anyway, Christopher Lloyd plays Al, and he's like the main angel, the boss angel, as he is actually credited. Let's not get it twisted. And he, of course, Back to the Future fame. But one I often forget about actually is Adam's Family.
That was
Like,
going to be my question to you. I was looking at his list of accomplishments and credits. He's going to be, I think, 87 this year. Is
also, how
Christopher
is he still
Lloyd?
alive? I need him to, like, he's immortal, right? Is
I
that what it
saw there
is?
was video of him and Michael J. Fox last year on stage at a benefit or something. And it's so adorable that they're still friends. But my question to you was going to be, is Christopher Lloyd one of the most underrated actors in Hollywood? Because I feel like you look at people like Daniel Day-Lewis, who you mentioned before, you look at people like Gary Oldman, and they just put themselves into these roles and you almost don't recognize them. And I don't think that Christopher Lloyd does that as much, because in many roles he's
Yeah.
just being Christopher Lloyd, same as Back to the Future playing Doc. But when you look at Addams Family and you look at Roger Rabbit when he's the villain, I feel like he goes just as hard on immersing himself. And I just don't think he has that reputation of these other more esteemed actors.
I wonder if it's I mean, I can kind of see that. I don't think it's like Gary Oldman levels for sure, but I do think it's almost the camouflage of it all. You know what I mean? Like, he
Yeah.
is so good at immersing himself, but I think he's also in certain cases really being camouflaged. Like, I think that's the way I would think of
Even
it.
the
And like
bad guy
that's what I
in
remember.
Dennis the Menace,
Yeah.
not as memorable, but he's the villain in that. Like, he's
Yeah.
a criminal breaking out of jail or something. But I didn't even as a kid recognize that was Christopher Lloyd, and now I go back and
Yeah.
rewatch it. I'm like, oh, of course it's Christopher Lloyd. Yeah.
Yeah, well, like in his Uncle Fester, like he obviously looks
Mm-hmm.
so different, right? Like you just don't associate with that with him, but it is him, and he's among other things, he's done a lot of voice work as well, which I sort of forget about too. But he's really prolific actually, and he does a really good job. And also, he's been 1,000 for 30 years, so I am just shocked that he is still with us. I love that he's still with us, but it is surprising. I
That's
think that
insane.
he
That
is.
means he was only 47 when he was playing Doc Brown. That's mind blowing.
But he did not look 47,
No, he
right? Like
looked
that's what I'm
60.
saying.
Yeah.
He looked 65,
Yeah.
and that's what I'm saying. I think we were all very surprised, but I'm glad. Again, I'm glad he looks younger in this one, because like the energy with which he plays this one and like the way they present him, he actually does like read a little younger in this
Well,
one.
he
I
also
think.
wears a baseball cap the whole time, and as I'm getting older and my hair is getting thinner, I've realized, yeah, baseball. I'm stealing that life hack, baby. Baseball caps.
Where has your baseball cap been this entire month? Where is it? Where is it? That doesn't count. I should have brought you one. I kept meaning to. Anyway, disappointing, but it's fine. Ben Johnson playing Hank Murphy, the team owner. And I have so many thoughts about this. Like, we'll get there. But like, this is based in fucking Anaheim. And this is the countryest of country fucking team owners. This is a Dallas Cowboys owner at minimum. And he is in Anaheim, California, being the most cowboy AF one that he can be. But what he is, among other things, most well known for is the Last Picture Show. So it kind of checks out, like that Texas story and that Texas vibe. And then we have J.O. Sanders, who plays Ranch Wilder, who I think is quite critical to the story and looks like a cartoon, if we're being honest. They show his little logo later, and I'm like, checks out. Like, he's just his little cartoony logo. But he's known for a few things, but I think I remember him from Day After Tomorrow most.
I don't remember him from anything except for this. I just know he's very hateable.
He's very hateable, and he's also in a lot of little things that I couldn't identify. Like, I scrolled through his IMDb and I was like, "Where do I see him?" Like,
Mm-hmm.
he definitely has these more supporting roles here and
He's
there,
like
probably in
character actor.
TV.
Yeah.
Yeah, and, like, he's in a lot of things, and I've seen him before, but yeah, he's very hateable in this, and he's very cartoonish in this, which is appropriate. And then again, like I said, Joseph Gordon-Levitt here, who I personally adore, plays Roger Bowman. This is one of his obviously child acting days. He's been in a bazillion things that we have talked about and love. 500 Days of Summer, which Lamar lobbied for in our anti-romance month, but did not
I've
make
been
the cut.
lobbying for that for years.
You
Mackenzie's
have, and I
anti
feel really
500 Days of
bad. Like,
Summer.
we haven't. We will work it in. We will work it in. But it's also really sad. Okay, like, I just don't want to cry. Anyway, he's also really good at Inception. That's
Yep.
one of my favorites of his. Like, I just love his turn in that
That
one.
was one of his like adult breakout roles. Like I
I think
hadn't seen
so.
Joseph. I mean, I had seen him in stuff, but he hadn't been a star again. I think until that
Mm-mm.
one, and then after that, he gets The Dark Knight Rises and some more adult Don John, all these other adult roles. But yeah,
I actually really, Don John. Like, when you watch it, you might not get like why I like it, but I just like how different a role that is. Right, I think he does such a great job, and it's so atypical of him. And I think it just speaks to how immersive he has gotten with some of his roles. And yeah, I really like him. And then, yeah, Inception was a big breakout for him in terms of like, oh yeah, that guy.
yeah. And I've
So I love
mentioned this
that.
before on the pod. He is in the best movie ever made about bike messengers. It's called Premium Rush. It's got Michael Shannon. Has no right being, and it's not even like a 10 out of 10. It's like a 7 out of 10. But based on the plot, you'd think it'd be a 4, and it just exceeds expectations. Is what I'm saying. Best movie ever made about bike messengers.
I Is it the only one made about bike
No
messengers though?
comment.
Have I
No
asked this
comment.
before? Okay, cool. I What I also really like about him is he has that like hit record thing that he does, which is the like collaborative media
Mm-hmm.
thing, and it has a big following. And I've actually never submitted to it, and I've always wanted to, but it's like all kinds of things, like write a short story, write a poem, like riff a screenplay. Like, it's almost like crowdsourced collaborative work,
That's
and
cool.
they try to produce some of it. And so I think, I can't remember, but Don John might have been one of them, because it was like kind of in the same timeline of when he was building that up. So anyway, check that out. It's very cool stuff.
Nice.
Milton Davis Jr. plays JP, and it breaks my heart to tell you that this kid has done practically nothing since. He is the cutest little guy. I am in love with this baby, and he has made like one-off appearances on some TV, probably most notably Seventh Heaven.
Yeah,
And
they don't give him, they don't ask much of him in this role. He just kind of gets these like, I'm a child and I'm kind of naive to the world lines, but he's very very adorable.
he's so cute. And I think he does a good job of like delivering what he's got. Like, I'm very
Yeah.
confused why he didn't get more work. He's freaking adorable. But anyways, yeah, not a lot from him after this. And then one Neil McDonough I wanted to mention. He's definitely not like a main, but he's just such a dunce in this, and it's so
Is he the
different than what
pitcher?
he's
Whitback,
he's one of the
whatever.
pitcher, and he like just smacking the gum like all big, and he's supposed to be a freaking moron, Whit Bass. But it's so different for him. Like, he's been in The Guardian, I remember him from the most, which is I think also an underrated movie. If you haven't seen it, it's Kevin Costner and Ashton Kutcher. It's a Coast Guard movie. It's really good. And Minority Report and a few other things. But anyway,
Okay.
he plays a wildly different character in literally everything else. And then here he's just like fucking playing an idiot. And I think it's so funny.
Well, speaking of which, though, you get baby Adrian Brody and Matthew
Yeah,
McConaughey in this. I
you took the words out
completely
of my mouth.
forgot about that.
Just a couple Oscar winners in this one. No,
No
big
big deal.
deal. Matthew McConaughey, Dallas Buyers Club is what he won for. Adrian Brody he's won a couple now, The Pianist and The Brutalist. Don't go watch the Oscar speeches because it wasn't great. But we just got some like light Oscar winners in this movie, just in the outfield, just chilling, like
Yeah.
literally.
The
It's
only
so
other one that I wanted to call out was Dermot Mulroney, who's playing Jogo Lev's
I
dad in
forgot,
this
that's
in a
right.
very hateable way. And most
Very
people
hateable,
like,
very Outsiders of him though. Like, he was in the Outsiders. If you didn't know, it like checks out. It works.
and he grew up. This is probably continuous from that universe because he still seems kind of like
Yeah.
a piece of shit who has no direction in life. But most people know
Yeah.
him probably My Best Friend's Wedding. Most recently,
Yeah.
I saw him in Scream 6, and he's all like Silver Fox now. Did you
He's
know?
so hot. He really is, like, all the way through. Like,
Yeah,
all the way through to the Silver Fox era. He's a gorgeous man.
he's doing
Yeah,
well
but
for
he's a piece of
himself.
shit in this. He's a piece of shit in this,
Yes.
for sure.
But did you know that in addition to looking good, he's apparently a really talented cello player? Did you know
The
this?
fuck? No, I did not.
To the point that he has played on these scores, like been in the orchestra for the soundtrack for the scores of Coco, Inside Out, Jurassic World, Rogue One. You look at his credits, he has like 30 music credits from playing cello on different scores.
What?
Yeah.
This is groundbreaking information, and I love it. I love it. I'm sorry. Is he married? Is that? I'm sorry. We shouldn't talk
That's
about
your
that.
icebreaker right there. Hi, Skylar.
Bye. Wow, that's impressive. That's impressive. He's so talented. That's surprising for him, especially because he plays kind of these like just kind of like rom-commy dudes usually, you know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like it doesn't feel like there's a lot of depth to that, but that's awesome. Amazing. Fun fact. All right. Quick little plot summary and then we will get into it. So, when a boy prays for a chance to have a family, if the California Angels win the pennant, angels are assigned to make it possible.
I feel like
Which
he could have
is
just cut out the
cute.
middle step and just said, "Can I have a family?" Like,
I
I know what his dad
know.
says. Again, it's based on this very
This is the
throwaway
problem with children.
line.
They take things
Yeah.
so literally. You know what I mean? That's part of the problem. They're like, hey, I need to literally make this happen because this guy said this funny turn of phrase and now I got to do it.
Yeah, they could have gone like the Christmas Carol route of I want you to send 3 ghosts to visit my dad tonight and like scare him into loving me again. Like we could have gone that route, but
Or it could have been like, can I get a better dad than my piece of shit dad who gives zero fucks about me? How about that? And
yeah.
what a cop out to like pin it on the mom. Anyway, sorry, we haven't done a spoiler warning yet. We'll get there. Really quick production nugget. This did pretty well, like for a Disney movie, 31 million in budget, which I actually thought was kind of high. I assume it's all the angels CGI that's
All
taking up
those
that
great
budget.
early 90s special effects, baby.
All those special effects are
Christopher
pricey.
Lloyd turning into soda. Like, sure.
Spoilers, Lamar. Okay, and then box office was 50, a little over 50 million. So like did all right, I suppose.
This was also though I feel like aside from think 90s, right? Like children's box office smashes, it's like Jurassic Park. That comes to mind. The rest of them, I feel like it was mostly VHS sales still at this point. I don't know if that's in your numbers, but I would guess this made a killing on VHS.
No, so the budget numbers don't account for DVD sales,
Okay.
no, or movie VHS, whatever sales. It's like box office numbers
Yeah.
specifically. And there are certainly movies that make their money back, so to speak, from the movie sales later, but usually the contract, not always, usually the contract for that is leans heavily towards the distribution company. So like whatever that
Got
distribution
it.
deal was, it will kind of depend. Sometimes it's the distributor that makes a lot more money than the people who did the original production. So I mean,
Hmm.
and that varies. Like we talked about this a little bit with Sinners, like he got, I think, most of the rights, if I recall correctly, of distribution. So like he's also cut in on the distribution deals. And so that's part of it. That's
Well,
part of the
somebody
trick,
made
man.
some money off of this, is what I'm saying. It's sad that it
Somebody
didn't
made good
do
money.
as well as you would think at the box office. But when I was a kid, we didn't go to the movies that often, but we had a shit ton of VHS tapes.
We didn't go to the movies almost at all. Like we were pretty poor, to be fair. So that's part of it. But and even movies at home, we didn't have that many, but it was certainly more. It was like that was what we had access to more often than not. And we played our Little Mermaid VHS into submission. I think it did eventually die. So,
You and my sister
you know,
both, yeah.
well, it was me and my sister. We had two girls in the house. Like she did it and then I did it. And when I was watching Little Mermaid forever, I was so sad. She did not want to watch Little Mermaid with me. Didn't stop me. Anyway, these were those days. The Disney VHS life is legit. All right, let's get into it. Turn around, don't drown. It's spoiler time, despite the Christopher Lloyd in the Coca-Cola reference. All right,
Yeah, spoiler, he
take it
turns
away.
into soda.
It turns
I
into
just want
soda.
to I not we don't need to go on this for long, but the opening credits of this are just a core memory for me. The score, the ball flying through
Oh,
the clouds. I know it's cheesy, but as soon as the music hit, I was like 10 years old again. So just wanted to throw that out there.
oh, That is true. There are movies. I don't know if this is the one for me like that, but there are so many of that kind of that era of like Little Mermaid is probably one, right? Like I remember the exact animation opening and the song opening and all the things of just this is yeah, core memories. And that is probably gonna be reflected in our rating later, you guys. So like this is such a sad story kind of at its core. I think I just want to like get that out of the way
Yes.
of I sort of forgot that. Like, did you forget that? I kind of forgot it
I
was a little sad.
I
Like,
forgot components of it. I knew the whole premise was
yeah,
based on this kid's single father is abandoning him basically, and he's in a foster home. I forgot about how dark it gets with like the court visits and his dad just giving him these hard truths of like, I'm not equipped to
yeah,
take care of you. I got to travel and be my own man. Like that kind of bullshit. I had completely forgotten about the super dark moment that comes later where he says, JP doesn't get into cars because he used to live in one with his mom and he used to sleep on the passenger seat. Like I like teared up at that. I was like, what the fuck? This movie is much more emotional than I remember.
yeah, yeah. That was heavy. And like you see him pause, and I definitely didn't remember that that's what was coming. And then he says it, and you're like, holy hell. And like at the very beginning too, like he's talking about how his mom is dead, you know, and like Dermot Mulroney's character is like, well, maybe if your mom was alive, which is such a freaking cop out, by the way. But
Yeah.
anyway, then you get this 1-2 punch for this kid of like his mom is gone and his dad is just for whatever reason not capable of taking care of him, and the way he delivers it is so harsh too. It's like he says that thing about, well, glad we got that out of the way or something. Like I
Yeah.
remember that line and I was just like, are you fucking kidding me? Like if I'm in the room with this guy or I'm this foster mom and I heard this happen, like I am about to smack you silly. You do not talk
Right.
to a child that way. It was, oh, it was so devastating. But you're also like, we don't want him to be with
Yeah,
his
you don't
dad.
want him to be with this guy for sure.
His dad is terrible. So like the whole premise is a little bit upended by, well, not upended, but just a little bit worrisome because you're like, do we want him to get this family? Like this does not feel like the family. And thank goodness family means a lot of things because did not want him to end up with that guy, that's for
For
sure.
sure. And before we get to like where we end, back at the start, I think the dynamic between the two child leads is great. The way that they're a few years apart, and the way that JP always asks all these different questions, and Roger never seems to be annoyed by it, even though Miguel, who honestly, as a kid and as an adult, Miguel gives shitty dad and Ranch Wilder a run for their money and being the most unlikable part of this movie because I fucking hate Miguel.
He's kind of a dick, yeah.
Yeah.
And like it's hard to like I don't know, I don't want to talk shit about like a child-ish, a teenager, but also, yeah, he kind of sucks. Like and he's supposed to be like there's JP is objectively adorable, like objectively, and he's so annoyed with him all the time and he's a dick to him and I'm like that's the thing that triggers me. I'm like you will not talk to him that way. Like
You know
he
what
is.
I'm annoyed with? Miguel's half mustache.
Oh my
Have a
god, it's so
mustache or
bad.
don't. He has such a I'm in
It's
eighth grade and I think I'm cool mustache.
I was gonna say it's so like prepubescent, bordering on, you know, I'm going through my early stages of puberty mustache. It's so bad. It's so bad.
But I love the dynamic between those two to kick us off. I like when they get back and Maggie says, you know, I told you to be back by 5. Roger gets all sad, but then JP is like, I can't tell time yet.
Can't
Are we
tell
back
time.
by 5? That's a great line.
The thing that really got me about that moment is I was like, what time is it? I want someone to tell me
Like,
what
how
time it
late
is.
are they? Yeah.
How late are they? My OCD was kicking in hard. I was like, I have no answers here. What's happening? But yes, he's so cute. He's like, I don't know what you want from me. I can't tell time. I'm not responsible for this.
Yeah, it blows my mind that when we're watching this, the year is 1994 and it is completely socially acceptable for like a 12-year-old and a 10-year-old to go to a baseball game by themselves. They
Fuck
bike
yeah.
over to the game, they go in, they attend. Like there's also the one where they're in the tree, and I like when the guy calls, "You better have tickets for that tree." Yeah,
Which, like, are we so for real? Let them watch the fucking game. They're
right.
little dweeb kids in a tree. Like, I don't know who the security guard was, but he should be fired. Like, it's fine. Calm down. If it were like grown adults doing this, okay, fine. Yell at them to get a ticket. But these are adorable little kids just trying to watch some baseball. Like, don't be a dick about it. I was not impressed.
110%. Yeah. There's the early stuff with the team where they're obviously on the struggle bus and the kids are in the crowd. I do really like when the team starts fighting amongst themselves and then the other team goes to rush the field and the opposing manager is like, "What are you doing? Like, this is not our fight." I think that's a pretty good line. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but from all that dysfunction, and then we get the introduction of George Knox and him being really a prick to his team because they are so bad. But again, I just love surly Danny Glover. He is putting his all into this role and really like nailing it.
I love him being cranky. He is literally in my notes. I think I said like, "What a grump." He's so grumpy the whole time, and he's like throwing shit and so annoyed. And he's talking about how he doesn't want to. He came here to win. He doesn't want to coach this team anymore. They're so bad. Like whatever. And this redneck owner in Anaheim, California, so weird, is just like, "You'll figure it out. I believe in you." Like just, slapping him on the back and
Yeah.
like move it along. And it's such a interesting dynamic. And then they put him in front of the media, which is of course kind of the impetus for some of this. And I just love how like anti-media he is, how he doesn't even want to like smile for the cameras.
The prison
That's
photo.
Oh my god! I love that the callback to that later of like, this looks like a prison photo, like,
Yeah.
and it's not the thing you would think of necessarily, but it works. And the media, like, who's the actor? We didn't even really talk about this. The like right hand man guy who like sort of shepherds the kids throughout and is like setting up
I didn't
this.
write his name down, but I did
I
write that
didn't
he is a
either.
treat, and I don't remember him from anything else, but he crushes it in his role too.
He plays a very similar character in something else around the same era. I can't
Okay.
remember
His
either. I
name
should
is
have written it
David, but I
down.
don't know the actor's name, but the character's name is David. I wrote that down. And
Yeah, David. Like, but David's great where he's like, he doesn't, his job initially is to get Danny Glover to like get in front of the cameras and do some media work and whatever. And then he basically gets assigned to watch these kids. And he's like, "Weren't you gonna fire me?" Like, I just love that. He's like, "Just remember you
they're
were gonna fire me on
evil.
Friday."
Love that delivery of like he's covered in food. He's like, they are evil. It's,
And the
yeah.
progression of his outfits, like that's just a gem also as well. Like he
Yeah.
gets moves into
The
like he gets his suit
poncho.
ruined multiple times, and then he's in a poncho, and then he's in a beekeeper suit,
Yeah.
which was like my favorite thing. Yeah, he's a funny, nice little add-on throughout with the
Yeah.
kiddos.
In regards to what you were saying about Knox with the media, I do love it. It's such a weird thing to be like, I love this shot in a Disney movie. Just because we don't talk about cinematography much because most of them are animated. But the shot where he's being interviewed and there's the awkwardness of like, "You ruined my career," basically with Ranch. And then it
Mm-hmm.
cuts away to the other guy and he's like, "Well, that's it, blah, blah, blah." And then Ranch is like, "No, we're still on the air." And it comes back and he's like, "Oh, yeah." And you see the punch. I, for a Disney movie, that's actually a pretty well done scene, I think.
Yeah, I think so. It's really well done, and I like their dynamic, like their little rivalry a little bit that kind of like goes throughout the whole movie of with his interviews. And even when they're doing well, like he just wants to figure out what's going on and undermine him. And it actually in theory is good for him as a commentator that like he would be drawing attendance or drawing fans to this game, and he still wants them to do bad.
It is interesting that they choose to make the antagonist of this not really any of the other teams that they're playing until the
Yeah.
end, and they have that one guy, the hit or die batter. Like, I'm like, he's not even in the rest of the movie. It's not as though the Yankees or the Red Sox or any team are the bad guys in this. It's literally this broadcaster of the team that he's supporting is the one who's kind of evil, and then the owner I kind of gets on board, but then they bring him right back off. It's just an
Yeah.
interesting way to approach the film.
I also think I also think it's interesting to talk about just the angels themselves. Like, let's just get to the core of it. The angels themselves are invisible, obviously, and this fucking kid is sitting in the stadium talking to angels, and they tell him multiple times, "No one can see me. No one knows that you're talking to me. Like, be chill, bro." And he is being 0% chill, cannot like play it up at all. He's like very reactionary to them. He has full blown conversations, like doesn't whisper. And you're just like, my dude. Like,
Again, to tie it back to that 20 slide deck that I had at the beginning, this movie, the rules are a paradox. It's like we're gonna help,
Does
but like
not
we don't
make
do it all the
sense.
time because obviously everybody wants their team to win, right? Like, and you can't
Yes.
tell anybody about it, and we don't help in the championship, the ones that decide the championship. There's also an angel that sexually harasses a player, like slaps him on the ass to get him to run faster.
Right.
I
Inappropriate.
yeah,
Inappropriate.
we need to have a
It's
conversation with God in this film of like, what are
we
you
need to talk to the
actually?
angels about their
Yeah,
behavior. Like, are they riding free? Like, are they reporting up to you? Again, I mentioned in this earlier. There's a hierarchy to these to angels. Like, are they reporting up to the top? Like, are they going to the seraphim and being like, "Is this cool?" And they're like, "Yeah, go ahead." Like, it's a weird vibe for sure. And Al is like, he's he's so awkward and funny and he does such a good job, but then later, like you said, he comes in and he keeps giving him more rules to it, and it's like, are you making these up as it goes along? Are you just like, this is how I feel like acting today? Al, help us out or don't. Come on.
it
Like,
just it feels very strange to me that this team is cheating to win, basically. Like
well,
it's
and that's
when
and like they
religion's
don't see it as
involved.
cheating.
Yeah,
They're
well,
like, well, it's different. We're
when
helping out this
religion is
kid.
involved, it becomes a miracle. It's not cheating; it's a miracle that these things are
Lamar's
happening.
atheism is showing.
Yeah, now it's okay. But yeah, the last thing. Sorry to backtrack a little bit. The last thing I wanted to say about Ranch was we're doing this back to back with Major League. I didn't expect to
Mm-hmm.
have alcoholic broadcasters in both of these motion pictures because he's doing the same thing that Euchre's doing, pouring the whiskey or whatever into his
Just
coffee
pouring
cup.
away.
Yeah.
I need somebody to tell me, is this like a common occurrence? I mean, you certainly never see announcers do this in any coverage, but are they just doing this behind the scenes? Is that the trick? Did I not know? I don't know. Maybe this is how we learned. Maybe Angels in the Outfield taught us this.
Could be. I like there is a so I know you're not a huge horror fan, and this isn't a horror movie, but I'm gonna segue here.
You say that, but I've watched so many horror movies on this pod alone. I feel like I get
We're
some
making
level of
progress. Yeah, no,
status.
you got my
I think
respect.
like
Yes.
I'm working my way.
But you know how in all modern like horror movies after 2005 say there always has to be a throwaway line for why cell phones don't work. It's like, oh, we're out in the middle.
Yeah.
Do you guys have service? No, I don't. Or oh, all our phones broke.
No.
What, we left our
Like
phones
the
at home?
strangers. Oh my god, I
In
can't.
this,
Ugh.
the exact equivalent of that is when Roger tells Knox not to swear so much because that in the world of baseball, that is how we get away with this being a G rating because there's no swearing because of that throwaway line.
That is true. I didn't even remember the G rating factor. You're totally right. And I do think it plays really well where like he edits himself later and like a couple times he catches himself, and it works. But I also am like, again, I think you're right. The paradox of these rules, like they can't curse at all, even lightly curse, but you can help them cheat so that they can win. And also they don't see it as cheating. They're like, well, we're answering this prayer, this kid's prayer.
Right.
Like we have to answer this kid's prayer so that he can get a family. And I'm also like, you could just get him a family. Like, I
Right.
don't like,
That's
to your
again, we
point,
could have cut that out, but
we could have just
probably
got
wouldn't
him
have been as
anyway.
entertaining of a movie. But
We wouldn't have had this movie.
and
So
also
I guess that's the shtick.
it might be a PG rating. I might be wrong. Let me know if it's not G and it's P. Either way, there's not a lot of swearing in this. But you said that, and it reminded me. It's very Joe Pesci in Home Alone when he does the mumble like frickin', and you know what he's trying to say, but he's not swearing. I want a hard pivot real quick, and we talked about the soda pop. What are your thoughts on the special effects in this movie?
Okay. We're here. I'm glad we're here. Listen, there's the nostalgia factor is real here. And I remember thinking it was kind of cool at the time. The rewatch doesn't quite do it for me. The soda pop thing is wild. The CGI of him merging with the other guy is really kind of gross.
Yeah.
Like it's actually gross. I'm like, I didn't need to see that. It feels like I shouldn't have seen that. And then like the angels themselves, like how come Al gets to be in a t-shirt and jeans and a baseball cap for half of it, and then these other guys are like in robes and the glowiness and all the thing? I'm like, we can't be in. I feel like it might have been cuter actually if they were in like baseball uniforms.
Mm-hmm.
But so like it wasn't my favorite. It doesn't hold up as well, to be honest.
The angels don't look bad when they're like standing still. Like the one when she's just giving him the shoulder, like Adrian Brody, the shoulder massage. Like it looks fine when they're stationary.
Yeah.
But when they have to animate them into the
move.
film and they're like flying and picking people up, that's when it looks very wonky. I remember as a kid even thinking their faces looked strange, but it's just the weird gold
It's like the
surrounding them.
glow. It's the
Yeah.
like the glow thing they're trying to do, like discolors them in a weird way. Like their faces look weird and things look weird, and yeah,
Yeah.
it doesn't quite hold up.
I give them a bit of a pass just because of the year it came out. I know we've covered
Yeah.
Hook on this podcast, and there's a little bit of that in there too, of like 90s, not even
Hook is a
CGI, just
gem, and it's okay that you're wrong about it, but it's a
there's
great film.
there's some questionable
So
special effects in that too. But I give
we're
it a
gonna move
pass.
on.
I do think one thing that looked better than I remember it being was the first home run that the big dude hits, and the ball is like flapping in the wind. That
Yeah.
looks practical. I don't know
That
if
was
it
good. He's
is.
breaking the ball out of the gate,
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
That was fun. I like that they zoom in on the ball and like do that whole energy. That's really good. I also like I like the baseball scenes in general of like it is giving you like the baseball park energy. And I like the shtick that the kids get to go to all these games eventually, like, and then they get all the swag. I love that they're leaving with so much swag, and like he's like bribing them to win. And you know, that's an underrated wholesome part of the story, right? Like these are these foster kids who don't kind of get anything, and
And they're
I
getting
think that's
whatever they
adorable.
want I love when they're
Yeah,
bossing David
they're getting treated.
around, and
I
then when they
know.
can't think of anything else and he's like, coffee? You drink
Yeah.
coffee? And JP is
Yeah,
like,
I love coffee.
yeah, what do you think, we're kids or something? Now get me a cup or I'll scream. That's a great line. Yeah.
I just love, yeah, they fall into this really quickly of like we get to order this grown man around. I also just think it's so weird though that they have to have these quote unquote secret conferences and ditch David every time. I'm like, you are actively doing this action that everyone can see, the wing action, and flagging him over here, and people aren't like listening to the conversation. And I'm just like, why did we have to like kick David away for this to happen? But it's a fun bit. It
Are you,
is a fun
you're
bit.
saying justice for David? Justice for David?
I mean, no, you know, I'm actually not, because I like the things that happen to David. They are worth a chuckle for sure.
I do think on rewatch, one of the things, and you kind of called this out, of the silliness that we get to, is that at the
Mm-hmm.
start, the stuff the Angels are doing sort of starts as freak occurrences of like, oh, he jumped a lot further than he should have been able to, or this dude hit a home run that hadn't hit a home run in,
Yeah.
weeks. When it gets to the montage and it's getting into the total fucking insanity of the ball just ricocheting all around the field and guys running into each other, and it just gets too zany and slapstick,
Silly,
that's when I
silly.
kind of roll my eyes like 3/4 of the way into
Yeah.
this film.
Well, and we didn't have to do that, right? Like to keep the story up, we didn't have to do the slapsticky insanity for the story to keep working. And you're like, that's where you lose me. That's where it's crazy that this would be happening, and people would be like, what's wrong with the fucking ball, or
Mm-hmm.
what is going on? So that part is really odd. The other part I think that is odd too is the reaction to this, right? Like let's just talk about the realistic real world of this. Like they have to hold a press conference later when they figure out that they think that this coach is talking to angels or whatever the shit. And I'm just like, who gives a shit?
I
Like
wrote
in
that. I was
today's
like, this is great PR. Why does the manager give a shit?
the fuck? Like, and also, let's be honest, this manager is like a country boy. In theory,
He loves
I'm gonna
God. Yeah.
imagine a very Christian man,
Yeah.
right? So like,
God gold
why do
guns,
you
baby. Yeah.
right, exactly. What are you talking about? Why do you care that this manager, your team, is channeling angels or whatever it is to win? You would, in this day and age, that man would be walking up to the mic and be like, God has blessed my team, and we are here to take it all the way to the pennant. Like, I guarantee
It's a
you this
solid
motherfucker
Southern
would have been,
accent. Well done.
thank you. But like he would have committed to the bit, is what I am saying. He would
It's
not have been like, I'm gonna fire my manager over this. And they have to
it's
have that whole moment at the freaking press conference. It's a whole
it
thing.
kind of ties into what, for as strange, but it also kind of works of a decision as it was to make Ranch, the broadcaster of the home team in this, the villain.
Yeah.
That's where it falls short, is okay, we need to find a way for this conflict to come to a head, and it's him running a
Yeah.
story where a kid says it's angels and then the manager gets pissed. It feels very forced and silly. It does give us sort of, Knox gets his like I am Iron Man moment when he's at the podium and delivers his little speech, and then we get Maggie
Yeah.
getting
Yeah.
her time
Yeah.
to shine as well, which is cool.
Yeah. I love that for Maggie. And I like that they get to like give him his moment of I love this team. I'm cool with what this is. Because also, this has been a journey of acceptance for him. Let's be honest. If he's like, I am not entirely sure what's happening, or I don't know if I believe this, but the baseball superstitions have more taken hold than anything else, where he's like, I've gotta commit to this and let it happen. And then he finally is like, yeah, you know what? Yes, this is how this is working. And you just see him turn from his curmudgeon self to this, uncle dad vibes and like great team manager vibes, and it's a cute progression for
I
him for
I had
sure. It's very
forgotten
wholesome.
I had forgotten all about when he plays baseball with the kids in the neighborhood. He
In
says
the
anything you want, and
sandlot,
it's adorable. And like the run home Marvin thing.
run home. The kid fucking runs home.
Yeah.
And he comes in, he's like, well, you told him to run home. Like, like, Danny, you should have explained the rules a little bit, I feel like, because you misunderstood. But it's so cute. It's so wholesome. And it's so 90s too. He's there like in his slacks and his plaid shirt and playing baseball. And I'm like, it's so cute.
It's also just we get to and then coming into the conclusion of this. I love how quick Roger is to forsake the Lord once he doesn't get his way. Like his dad's like, "Hey, yeah, the Angels are going to win the pennant, but like I'm still peacing out." And he's like, "There is no God."
That is so underratedly sad, though.
Yeah,
Like, I mean,
yeah.
yes, like I love that he's like, fuck this guy, but also like it's it's a sad, very like realistic takeaway in this very like Disney wholesome movie, which yes, as we know, Disney movies can be rough. Like I'm not saying they can't, but this particular topic was a little bit hard, man. He's walking into this, they're waiting for hours, he's missing the game, everything's going wrong. He walks in and his dad is literally giving him up. He's already
Yep.
signed the papers and he's walking out and he's like, Dad, and he's like, Dad, doesn't he say daddy? He says something like
That
it's oh,
line crushes me when he's like,
oh
"Dad, Daddy." That is hard. And then the car conversation afterward, it's like trying to make sense of everything, and it's just all this has been for nothing. But I'm like, dude, you literally see angels, and you're just like, fuck God now. Like, just
but like it's almost like it kind of makes sense though, like in kid brain, right?
in
Of
kid
like,
brain, yeah,
you betrayed me. Like I have understood the agreement to be thus, right? And we're doing it. We're out here doing it, right? We have checked all the box. Like I should be getting my family. Right? Like I
yeah,
should be getting my family, and this is how I understood my family to be. It's like you understand why he's so sad, and it's so heartbreaking. And it's like, yeah, don't Marini, like I want to punch that guy in the face. He just walks out of there and leaves this kid. It was so heartbreaking. But I love how Danny Glover's character like comes in
yeah,
and just is like, I hear you. Like I get that is a very emotionally mature conversation, actually, even for the 90s, right? Of like sitting in this car and like letting this kid be heartbroken and being like, this is where I need to be. I'm going to be here with you kids. And that's when you're like, this is the family. Like,
yeah,
this is the family, this little crew right here. And that's so
yeah.
wholesome.
I totally agree. That's what kind of carries us into the final game of the season. And what I wrote down of this was I remembered that the Angels didn't really interfere in the final game, right? They kind of have to win it on their own. What I
Mm-hmm.
didn't remember that actually holds up really well is the way that they tell the story of the final game. It feels like watching an actual baseball game. It's not just
Mm-hmm.
bottom of the ninth, 2 outs, runners, like we need a grand
Yeah.
slam. It's not that heroism. It's a very real, like there's a couple random singles, there's some defensive
Yeah.
jams, there's the team going above and beyond where they had
It's not just
previously
this like
been.
romantic perfect game. It's
Yes.
like it feels like a real game. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's just
Yeah.
solid defense, like the
Yeah.
players outperforming themselves even without the Angels' help. There's somebody that gets like hit by the pitch to get on base. It feels like baseball.
Well, and I think that's part of the moral of the story, and that's the part that I like because we keep talking about the Angels like helping them quote unquote cheat, right? Like, and they have. I'm not I'm not gonna bullshit, right? They've literally pushed them along, but I think part of the moral of the story here is that like they have improved, right? Like
Yeah.
they have learned what they should be doing in certain plays in certain situations by virtue of these angels help. So it's like they don't always need the angels help anymore, even in regular games, right? Like they're not doing everything all the time, and this is the game where they're not going to get help, and they're like, it's like the muscle memory of it all.
Like their
It's like,
confidence is improved. Yeah.
yeah, like my confidence is built up, and it's like, and the angel thing comes up, right? Where it's like, you you got an angel on your shoulder, buddy. Like, you can do this. And that placebo effect of the whole thing too. Like, these angels have become kind of, to some degree, not in every single situation, a little bit of a placebo effect for them, and it's really helping them win and build that confidence. And it goes to show how much that confidence is such a factor in how you can go show up for your team and win potentially. So I think it's kind of cool, and I like the could happen of it all. Like, both they say it a bunch, but they also show it like in the action too.
For sure. I have 3 final notes about this last game that they play. Number 1, this kid's going to be fucking traumatized because not only he's been doing all this stuff with the Angels, his dad has left him, and then the Angel shows up and says, "Hey, you see that guy over there? He's going to die of cancer in like 6 months." And it's like, why would you tell me this, Christopher Lloyd?
It's so harsh.
Yeah.
I mean, he does kind of manage it a little. He's like, don't worry, he's had a good life. Like, we're going to take care of him. But like, does he need to know that? Does he need to know that at this moment?
I wanted a second line where Christopher Lloyd would have been like, "You want to know who else here is going to die?" I could just point
I can just point him out. I can give you the this one's in November. This one's a couple years out. Like, that would be so wild.
The only part of the final game that doesn't feel real to me, as far as real quote unquote baseball goes, is Knox waiting moment after moment, pitch after pitch, out after out to pull his starting pitcher. I'm like, if your goal is to win this game, you would have pulled him going into the 9th. You have a lead. You wouldn't wait until the first second out to be like, maybe now I should pull him. Or when you're at a 3-2 count to be like, I'm going to pull him on the last pitch of the game. That would make no fucking sense.
No, you would never pull him at this point. I mean, but I think that's what they're trying to say, right? Like, I'm not actually going to I'm going to go give him a little pep talk.
Yeah.
I'm going to like make it, but like, I was actually watching this with Skylar, and he was like, you would never do this. Like, the pressure on that pitcher coming in too. Like, he's like, I've been put in at these points in the game, and it's like, you can't, like, this is too much. Like, this is so much to put on them, and it's unrealistic. They're not warm, like all the things. And so, no, that part's not realistic, but I do like using it as an excuse because you're like, well, things are not going great. And like, you would go talk to your pitcher, but you wouldn't pull them. I agree.
It's a way to add some drama to that final game. But as a baseball fan, you're just like, okay.
Are you a baseball fan? Is that what
I know the game. I don't want to watch baseball, but I understand the game. And I know that if you're going to put in your closer.
Turn Lamar into a baseball fan over this month. That's what we're doing here.
If you're going to put in a closer, you would do it to start the 9th. It's not as though he had a perfect game or a no-hitter going. You put in Mariano Rivera and you close this fucker out, especially to win the pennant. But anyway, the last thing I wanted to point out, they win this game by making, remind me Tony Danza's name, Mel Clark, by lying to him and saying, "We see angels on the field with you."
Yeah.
And you can look at Joseph Gordon-Levitt's face during the scene, and it looks like he's in pain doing the wing thing. He's lying to Mel and saying, "We see angels," and you get this awesome shot of the whole field, the whole stadium doing it. But just wanted to point out, they are literally lying in a universe where God exists.
I literally have in my notes, does this count as lying?
Yes.
Is he lying right now? Like, this is the undercurrents of like Christian messaging in this film are quite real, right?
Yeah.
And are arguably like overtly there, right? But yeah, then he straight up lies to get him to do this. And like, I guess they count this as like a white lie. I guess this one's a safe one, but they're definitely lying to him about the angel being present for sure. Yeah. For sure.
They could have had Christopher Lloyd in his final scene be like, "Goodbye, Roger." And he's like, "Don't you mean see you later?" And he's like, "Oh no, goodbye. You're going to hell because you lied." The subtext, you know? But
I also think the other thing is like the angel move, though, like the fact that they make such a thing about how that's like a signal to tell him that angels are here, and it's like this incognito thing to get him to come talk to him. I'm like, the team is the angels. Like, this wouldn't be a weird thing.
I'm surprised it took the whole season for it to catch on. Like, you would think that more people around him would be like, "Oh, that's cool."
It's like we're doing the angel wave, like, great, I'm so happy for you, but also like, they are the angels. How did this not happen before? Right. I'm so surprised. But anyway, it's such a like romantic, beautiful last moment for baseball and for these kiddos. And then like, obviously the moral of the story is like, they have become this family, and it's so cute to see like a curmudgeon like Danny Glover come in here and be like, we're gonna, like, of course I'm not gonna leave JP. Like, it's gonna be all of us.
That is
like, so cute.
all-time cinema prank of letting a foster child think they're not going to be adopted.
Oh, well, and I think like I don't think that JB's supposed to think that, but like you, of course, like
He's
the
jumping
assumption,
to
of course,
conclusions.
is
Yeah.
you would only think one kid, right? Like, I mean, it's not atypical. You foster or adopt one kid, right? And so, but I think it is jumping to conclusions. Like, obviously, he's coming too, and I do think that's so cute. It's such a
I
good
mean,
moment for them.
I don't know how much credit we give Knox. He's really just adopting his meal ticket. He's like, "Oh, you helped us win the
That's
pennant,
the
so
other thing I
yes,
thought too. I was like,
I'll keep you
so
around."
basically, you don't want to lose baseball games, is what you're telling me. You just want to make sure you can win baseball games,
Yeah.
Trevor. So you're going to bring them in house,
Yeah.
and that way they can go to every game.
Yeah. So
Forget school, forget anything else.
yeah, but all joking cynicism aside, that's not what I do think the ending of this is very cute and very sweet. And I
Yeah.
know it is Disney sugar and water. It's just really adorable and it's meant to be over the top and kind of silly,
Yeah.
but I think it's aged okay, all things considered.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's aged pretty well. The CGI being like the biggest complaint, to be honest.
Yeah.
It's like a little weird. But to be honest, I think it's still a sweet story. It still has the nostalgia factor. I love the baseball part, of course. So yeah, it's still a good time. So what do you think's your rating on this one?
I'm not going to go crazy high because, as I said, I think that the middle third of the film, when it gets very slapsticky and silly, and there is like a cool montage where we see all this zaniness and we see the winning ways that they've sort of adopted here, and the take me out to the ball game. It's a cool montage, but when it gets insane like that and it's just these zany moments that they don't land as an adult like the physical comedy, it doesn't really do much for me. But as I said, the script is surprisingly tight. There are some good one-liners in this from a wide variety of characters, so I think it does speak for the movie when you look at how many Oscar winners are in this and how many great actors they managed to get in here. So I'm not going to go super high even with nostalgia goggles on, but I'll go like 7.5. I think it's a fun movie. Not great, but like good.
Yeah, I think it's good. I think it's funny the Oscar winners, like several of whom have no real lines. Like Matthew McConaughey has like basically no lines, and he like I remember he catches the ball and he's like, "Whoa," like he's just so dumb. Oh, and Adrian Brody is like he has what is his one wholesome line? He like talks about how like what a like ballpark it is or what a game it is. I can't remember what he says, but it's like it's so wholesome as well. But it's
that's when he's talking to Knox when he's crying during the national anthem. Yeah.
Oh yeah, he's like, what an experience! Like this is such an experience. Regardless, and anyway, very wholesome. I have the nostalgia feels. I probably wouldn't go as high as you. I kind of had it as like a 6.5 or a 7.
I think that's fair.
I think it's mostly like I said, the CGI doesn't quite hold up, but it's a sweet story and it's like yeah, it's like it is what it is. It's like that Disney quality kind of story. So I think it's a fun time. And it's a good fan rec. It's a good nostalgic rec. Thanks, guys. We appreciate you.
And if any of our listeners out there are Satanists, we don't want to alienate you this episode. So hail Satan. There you go. Shout out to you guys. But
Satanists are very wholesome people if you get right down to it. Anyway,
I've read some of their like basic tenets, and I'm like, oh, it's actually
really
not bad.
Yeah, they're actually very nice people. It's true. It's true. All right, kids. Thanks for joining. This was a fun month. I actually had a fantastic time lobbying Lamar to become a true baseball fan, and we had a great guest, and I love all these movies. So really thank you so much for joining us. Come back next week where we start a whole new month that I am equally excited about, if not maybe more so, racing month. It's gonna be racing month here on the pod.
I'm campaigning that we call it August. I feel like that could work.
God. You have to do it every time. I'm not doing that every time. You can totally call it that. Wow, that was impressive. Okay, we're gonna kick things off though with Ford versus Ferrari, which I think is a good one to start us off. But we may have like a fan poll here and there for some others. I don't know. There's so many good racing movies.
Good on Matt Damon to get a second movie on the pod finally.
Finally, that guy, like not making enough of an appearance really. So, all right. Well, in the meantime, till we start talking racing.
In the meantime, follow us on our socials. We drink and we watch things on Instagram, TikTok. You can get the video for this podcast on YouTube or on Spotify video. Make sure to give us a like, a follow, a subscribe, a comment, whatever it might be. We will engage. We like audience engagement. You can also engage with us at we drink and we watch things pod at gmail.com. Give us suggestions for future movies, future themes, questions, things we messed up, anything at all.
We're not expecting like any criticism because obviously we're perfect, but feel free to email us if you would like. So, go have a drink and watch a thing. Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers.